Hello everybody, welcome to the musical edition of the ITK Soccer Show.
Carobig.
Thank you. You say it so beautifully. It's the 18th of October 2017. It's Wednesday night. We're sitting around watching Champions League goals. We have last night's Champions League to talk about, as well as Premier League for next weekend. The weekend just gone. But we'll start off with the biggest news, at least nationally, that's happened since we last recorded a show. That, of course, was international break and Ireland and Wales and the impossible happening and the most Irishman scoring the goal. And we had a night in town together, lads, that we were going to anyway. You guys kind of popped up on the best kept secret in Dublin, which I don't think maybe we should say on the show. Although, do we have enough listeners that'll spoil it?
No, I think I think tell them.
I think I text every one of our listeners because the story was
so I was
fun.
doing a DJ set. We were going to watch it there. The match wasn't working, and it was across the road from the Sugar Club. Dan and John went in ahead of me, and when I went in, I just saw them dead center in the middle in a booth, just watching the match on a big screen, and I had plenty of room to get up.
Screen.
Yeah, and I had plenty of room to get up and join them. And I said to you, "How did you go from the worst place to watch the match to the best?" Incredible.
Yes, the place where you were doing your set had the TV connected to a phone, which had the RT player just taking up like a third of the TV screen, and it couldn't, and it was buffering.
What?
Let's also say as well, when you first went in, you're showing the match, and you're told, yeah, the toilets are downstairs.
Yeah,
that's what you were told. So
well, I won't say anything negative about that.
No, we did end up having a great night.
Barman was great.
We did end up having a great night, and from my perspective, I was very lucky that they did get the match working in the second half, because I had started DJing at that point, and there was no sound though, because obviously I was DJing, and I looked to my left, and the goal had literally just happened. I didn't see the goal, and louder than the music was playing, I let out an audible "What?" and the barman looked over at me and he was like, "Yeah,
yeah."
He was a great man. Do you want to talk about the old fashions?
Oh, that was old fashioned. I learned a lot about Brazil as well, in Uruguay. Fascinating geography and history there. I found out.
That's right. He was from
Brazil, but he's actually classed as Uruguay. It's weird, like.
I saw him making you guys a whiskey-based drink and putting orange peel in it, and then putting a match to the orange peel, and I thought it was supposed to be a flaming mo, and nothing happened. I thought, geez, this is terribly anticlimactic. But I was then taught a lesson. I was informed that this was something to... Was it to singe the apple or the orange peel?
The smell of orange for the old-fashioned instead of the...
Well, you came over and you gave me a sip.
Unreal.
I had an erection.
I had the toffee popcorn as well. That was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
That was very nice as well.
This guy, shout out to the bartender, who we don't know if he's the main bartender or regular, but
he is. He said he's yeah.
So Eastside Tavern on Leeson Street, the start of Leeson Street, hell of a drink maker.
Special man.
Talk about the goal there, lads.
There was a goal, wasn't there?
Talk about the match and the goal.
Daryl Murphy is just the best thing to happen to Irish football since Robbie Keane.
You did start your love affair with him in a slightly sarcastic way, didn't you?
Well, sort of, because he plays in all the big results we have, because all the big results are us just like beating like the fact of
defending.
how like what bullies Ireland are. Apparently, only 4 of the 11 that played against Ireland for Wales were able to start for their club teams last weekend. So we beat the shit out of them, and I think Darren Murphy's a big part of that. But we beat them because Hendrick just wouldn't give up on the ball.
That, like, you watch, it's one of those weird things, and this isn't just because like I'm Irish and I'm into it and I'm over hyping how great it was. But when you watch the replay, even though it's a replay, you're still like, oh, how did he do it? Or you expect it to go out.
Yeah, it's like, how is that ball still in play?
It really was something special. And then the cross in, who left it for?
It was Harry Arter did. Well, did he mean to do it? I don't know, but I don't care.
It's the worst scuff shot of all
time. But
time.
James McLean though, like right foot, caught it pretty well, went in. Like,
he caught it great.
9 times out of 10, James McLean is right foot from there. That's going to Rosette. Or he completely mishits it and falls on his arse.
Sure.
Like, he's not the most technically brilliant player. In terms of heart and guts and work rate, 100%. And like, you look at like the of all the teams, like Northern Ireland ourselves, and you look at England then. Like, the England fans hate the England players. The England players hate the England fans, and they just don't seem to give a shit.
Yep.
Well, what we have is like, if England had our work rate and enthusiasm, and the fans has never given up on them,
sure,
England would actually probably be a decent team. because they'd have that. Like I think Ireland would beat England if we played them. Same with Northern Ireland. I think they push England as well. Like
It seems that when it
You know
comes
what I
to
mean?
the crunch games, Ireland in the last 18 months can somehow pull it out. It's usually 1-0, but they can pull it out. You think of Germany, you think of Italy, you think of Denmark. It's been stunning. The draw happened. It's mid-November, away to Denmark and then home to Denmark. People were saying that it's probably the best.
it's
of
definitely the
the,
best. It's definitely the best.
options.
Like I think Switzerland are one of those teams who I don't know.
They were unlucky.
They're always just kind of there. Like I don't think they're great shakes, but I think that they've got probably more players. They probably got a better overall team than Denmark have. Denmark obviously have Christian Eriksen. You know, he is very good.
He's got a
world
few.
class.
He's got a few tough matches
But-
coming up though. So
Exactly, but
hopefully
like he could pick up a knock or something. Like they're relying on people like Bentner, Kasper Schmeichel, goalkeeper, Cornelius, who was a reject with Leicester. Like just like they're not a great team. These guys. I think there's no reason we can't go there and get at least a 0-0. I'm worried about us at home against them because I think we're going to sit back at home and Eriksen is just going to have the freedom of the pitch,
Sure.
and then that's where we could actually go.
Well,
But
I think in our last
I think we'll defend a lot better away from home because we're more compact.
in our last
Yeah,
two
yeah.
playoff
Sure,
matches we've been
sure.
away first and been at home second.
won, but we've got results at both Estonia and
Bosnia were a good team. Like we played in the most horrendous atmosphere. If anyone's ever seen the fog,
Yeah, Jesus, I'll never forget. So in terms of the injury concerns, you mentioned
Walters and Duffy, but I think definitely Duffy looks to be okay.
Long played at the weekend, so he'll be back.
oh no,
Well,
Yeah.
it's good to have an option. Maguire's playing very well with Preston again. He scored again with them.
he went off though. I think injured.
He
I think
did,
Martin O'Neill
but-
said.
Okay, sticking with Era.
Can I just say, like,
Yeah, sure.
Like usually, and I'm a man for like complaining about international football, but like the last round was like amazing. Like some of them,
Yeah, look, let's
like-
stick on that. Obviously, we
I
had
hate when
the
people
we had
say
the USA thing.
hate the international round. It's like, why would you hate it?
because
Like
sometimes
when Ireland play,
'Cause
like, I don't
Mane
care how
gets
bad the
injured.
game is. I love when Ireland play.
when they're
Like I
playing
love
like,
it. Like it's the excitement and the buzz I get, and the countdown of like an hour or two.
You
before.
just love
when
Ireland.
there's
I do.
friendly rounds, I mean absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, friendlies are only on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. To be fair, they're not on the weekends. But when
Sometimes they're on the
Look, it's
But
very
I don't
easy,
care who
Dan.
Ireland are
It's very
playing.
easy to hypocritically look at this and go, like I had the best time ever on Monday,
It's
but
the-
then at the same time I was cursing it because of Mane. So like, look, people
but that
can never
doesn't-
be happy. People are
yeah,
never
but
happy.
it's look. The main thing is it comes from people who care too much about fancy football, and
Fantasy football's great.
Well, I certainly was
well,
more about
it's-
the real.
no, I couldn't give a shit about
Sorry
fancy
about
football. As
Liverpool.
long as the main team I support wins, I couldn't give a shit.
Let's talk about the
You know,
other
so
things that happened at
it's
the
stupidness.
final moment of qualification for the USA. USA losing to Trinidad and Tobago, wasn't it?
FIFA set up their qualification so they just could always qualify, and they still managed to fuck it up. Apparently, they had a 93% chance of qualifying before the match is played. Like, only certain results had to go against them, and
You're
they had to
kidding me.
lose. They could have lost and gone through. But because of I think it was the Mexico result, Mexico also decided to lose.
Okay.
So-
Panama as well. Or
Do you have the info exactly on how Colombia and Peru, with this whole Falcao chatting up all the players, so basically he realised that it could go both their ways if certain things stayed the same and if they
Yeah.
just relaxed.
Well, I think Peru are in a playoff.
Yeah.
But
Chile are out for sure.
But can we
So-
talk about the Falco thing for a minute? Like,
yeah. Just
that
go
is highly illegal.
on.
Well, it happened in World Cup 1990 with Ireland and
Yeah, Ireland
Holland.
have done it.
The Dutch,
Not,
and they just pass
the
the
Dutch,
ball around.
they go the way it is at the moment. Ourselves, England.
It's still illegal, Dan.
Oh, I know it is.
'Kay.
Ourselves, England, and Holland will go through the way it stands. And Jack was like, "Oh yeah, let's definitely take this." Oh, what a goal by David Luiz!
I had it on.
That is unreal.
My granddad had that match on VHS, and I used to always watch the second half of it
And
because
did
I
you
thought it
ever
was
see
hilarious.
Niall Quinn came on the pitch? I think he came on for Cascarino or something. And
Tony.
he didn't realise that the way it stayed, that if all teams are going through, and he was like closing down the centre half, he was like,
Nobody clued him in.
and people were telling him stop running. It's like,
But
just
listen,
let them have
you're
the ball. It was a
very,
big sham for the last
you're a
20 minutes
pure
of the
man
time.
of football. Earlier on the season, when somebody shouted "Leave it," you were disgraced and stuff like that. So, do you not feel the same way about something as egregious as?
No, I'm saying, yeah, no, it shouldn't happen. But
Okay.
I'm just saying,
But you're not angry
it has
about it.
happened. It has happened. Like,
Yeah, okay. Oh
There's
no,
nothing
there's
I can do
no,
about it.
there's a precedent for it. But I'm just wondering if you thought it was a slight on the game, a slap
it's
in
a
the
sight
face.
in the game, but like if you were a manager of both teams and you looked at each other and just gave each other a nod, I'm sorry.
But technically
you
it
are
is
smart if you do that.
Technically,
You know
it
what I
is match fixing within.
Well,
Yeah, it is.
another big one was when Sweden drew to Denmark. I think it was
Sure.
Sweden Denmark in Euro 2004.
Sure.
And both teams have a 2-2.
Yeah.
And regardless what Italy did in their game, they're playing Bulgaria, I think. Cassano scored in the last minute, but then it went 2-2 in the other game. And it was like, no matter what the result was, as long as it was more than a 1-1, Italy couldn't do anything about it. And it happened to be that two close nations. So it does happen. Like, and people say it doesn't. It does. When these results can happen, they'll both look at each other and they'll go, look, they'll be negative. They'll not go on it. They'll go, right, look, this will go through. And it does happen. Don't agree with it, but it does.
Sure. Brazil went through Argentina, who did look questionable for quite some time, had an absolute one-man show from Messi.
Jesus.
And who was that from Juve?
Alexandro Ongo.
Oh, Sandro, was it?
Sporting Lisbon heading.
So that was Argentina. Let's see who else.
Messi's goals were.
Messi's goals
But
were
people
incredible.
are having a go at Messi all the time for them not actually, qualifying or whatever. Messi actually in the previous game against, I think it was Peru, laid on about 5. I mean, just glowing chances, and he hit the post twice. Keeper saved it. Like, he's actually been playing well for Argentina.
I can't let you get away without bringing up what the word you just said was phenomenal.
What? Glorious.
Glorying.
No, I don't know. I
Beautiful.
don't know what the fuck I said.
Glorying chances.
Look, it's a good point, and they wanted him back, and they got him back, and he has made the difference. Holland aren't going through. Robin has retired from international football.
They're all gone. All the lads are gone. Robin, Van Persie, Schneider. Like, they were the last of the big players.
Absolutely.
Bas Dost is their best
Well,
player.
Babel's going to get back in the team.
Babel is starting every week for them.
Babel was great last night in the Champions League.
Babel's non-stop great in the
Besiktas beat
Champions League.
Monaco away, so
Yep. Babel's incredible. We'll get to all those results.
Holland are really...
Anything else international before we talk about? We need to talk about the League of
just
Ireland.
the future of football. There was a match shown live on YouTube.
Just the future of football.
Future football. Australia Syria was shown live on YouTube, and I watched it. And Tim Cahill scored a 118th minute header to beat to knock out Syria.
He did.
And
very
it
upsetting.
ruined my lunchtime penalty shootout.
And he
but
did
there
a
was
celebration that was something to do with one of his sponsors.
Yeah, he had a
tea.
sponsor,
He made a tea
yeah.
with his hands.
And then Syria got a free kick in the 120th minute, and the player was already crying.
He
when
was.
He hit it.
He
hit the post, and it was amazing. I screamed in work, so I was watching.
Poor Syria. Everyone would love Syria to go through.
Well, the thing is,
Right.
imagine having Russian, English, Syrian, and Ukrainian fans all in the same place. More so Russian fans and the other 3 is what I mean. It's going to be scary either way, but that would have been
Ukraine aren't
quite a
doing it, are they?
cocktail. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ukraine and Syria didn't qualify.
Will we talk about Scotland throwing it away and helping us to a playoff place?
Scotland were very kind to make sure that in case we didn't beat Wales, they weren't going to be sitting at home watering the plants with ourselves. So they made sure they'll
we didn't
do
talk
it first.
about Gordon Strachan talking about them being genetically inferior, or did
Well,
we?
Strachan's gone now as well. I think
Because he's not tall enough too.
Yeah, he's not
I
top.
think Strachan, though, I think he's so quirky and he's so mad and he's just... I don't know. He probably just said the first thing. It's like when the seagulls followed the trawler to sardines be thrown in the sea, sort of thing.
Who said that?
Cantona.
Oh yeah.
So I think he just said something ridiculous to deflect any questions. But he's gone anyway, and I thought he was doing an okay job.
I'd have to disagree, Dan. I think saying that it's their genetics is a clearly thought out piece of madness. I don't think it's off the cuff. Anyway,
I
we'll
think
never
he's
know.
very off the cuff. He's very mad like that.
Cork City finally win the League of Ireland. It was inevitable.
took their time.
They literally they won like the first 11 out of 12 games, and they've only got it wrapped up with 2 games because they've scored like 5 goals in like 9 games without Sean Maguire.
Yeah, did Maguire still finish top goal scorer?
He's still top scorer of the league, yeah.
Despite not playing.
Yeah, so I think he got 22 goals or something. But yeah, they've finally got a one. But they won't beat Dundalk in the cup final. Dundalk beat them. So well done, Cork. To be fair, 7 years ago they were actually out of business, and the fans
did
saved
Italy
them.
get in the playoffs?
Go from Division 1 and then to win it. What?
Who did Italy get in the playoffs now?
Italy got Sweden. So I'd fancy Italy. They beat them in the Euros. I think, yeah. And then who's the other group? There's Northern Ireland got... They got Switzerland. And apparently Denmark, the one team they didn't want was us.
Yeah.
Of all the people and all the journalists and everything around, I didn't want Ireland.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just glad we didn't get Croatia, because they would have hockeyed us. 100%,
Yeah.
they would have beaten us.
I don't really know what news we can talk about. Obviously, we'll get to the Shakespeare thing when we talk about Premier League, which we'll do in a minute. But obviously, the Mark Sampson racist debacle
thing
thing is really kicking off properly now.
But they gave him a severance payment of 9 months.
They gave him a severance
so it's like
payment
he's
of 9
going,
months.
and then he's saying like, "Oh, I wasn't sacked and I want money back." It's just
Yeah.
the FA have really, I mean,
They've done a terrible
made
job.
a complete mess of this whole
There's a
thing.
great headline here from Football 365 that says all FA admit non-racist Samson said racist things. It's pretty much exactly what happened.
But like the FA have been a complete joke. Like even putting like, you know,
there was
like
one of the players was Ini Aluko was supposedly asked to not say that what he said was racist, just a bit of banter. You know, we're back to this again. It's incredible.
yeah. But like they've that fella's been more trouble as well, and it's just like I talk about the Irish setup with the women's, you know, wearing the under 15s lads tracksuits, getting changed in Jack's toilets and airports, and
Yep.
having no facilities, and you know having to wash their own clothes, and it's just insane. Like, but like it's just cross board, obviously. But like obviously, I don't think it's probably as unprofessional here, but it actually seems, I mean, nasty in other countries. You know what I mean? That still
Sure.
whole stereotypical horrible thing seems to be going on there. Like if that was a men's team, nothing would have been said.
There's a quote here. I might be able to
I
fish
can't
it out
imagine
now.
Daniel Sturridge or Raheem Sterling being abused like that.
Oh, there was
Do you know what I mean?
somebody made a Rooney comparison. It was interesting. I actually have the whole article and I didn't get to read it before I started.
You know
but
what I'm coming
yeah,
from.
no,
though. Like,
well,
it wouldn't
no,
be if it
Look,
was.
there was things like he went over to a mixed race player and asked them had they been arrested, singled them out, stuff like just absolute
Where was
really
that fella from?
scummy. Samson, I to be honest, and you know, I'll put my hand up and say I don't follow women's soccer
No,
very
I-
much,
no,
but
I don't
I don't
know
know anything about him. I didn't know anything about him before this all came out. Anyway, moving on to Premier League from last week. It started off with Liverpool hosting United, and Jose
That's it. We can skip.
parked the bus.
See, Jose's flirting with PSG.
Yeah.
That's the main
Yeah.
thing out of this.
Well, when's his contract up? Oh,
He did say that he would never, or that he wasn't going to PSG. He said the Man United won't be his last club, but he's not going to PSG, right?
well, Mourinho can only do for 3-4 years.
And then PSG have the sporting director who worked with him at Porto, and they're like, "Ooh, Jose, we've got you." Anyway, Ashley Young started on the wing instead of.
I honestly didn't watch.
I'd have. Okay, well, I'll talk about it instead of.
I missed
a
the first
winger.
half, and I think that was the only good part of the game.
Well, the last 20 minutes of the first half, Liverpool created like 10 chances throughout the thing. Chan had probably the best chance. United had a chance, and it was actually better than Redmond or.
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't be
Redmond,
hard.
yeah.
But like, no, but I thought though that both teams were just really just not at it. Like I know you guys had more of the ball. You guys tried to win the game, but you didn't try and win it. You didn't. You're happy you
No,
getting a 0-0.
I think-
and I thought that you weren't good enough to break them down. You had a few shots and a few half chances.
Well, nobody's very
But
good,
I honestly
good enough to break
didn't
them
think
down,
that
are
De
they?
Gea, bar the save he had against Matip, I really didn't actually see Man United ever concede in that game.
Well, the Chan chance was huge. The Matip chance I should have mentioned. The Chan chance was absolutely huge. I don't know.
I thought like you guys.
They're very hard to
weren't
break
good enough.
down.
Mourinho didn't really want to play. Liverpool weren't good enough to break them down.
And
A
Liverpool
0-0 was. I knew it'd be a 0-0 going into that game, 100%.
Mourinho
And
came-
a 0-0. I honestly thought it was a fair result.
We had more
it was
chances.
terrible
We had more
stuff.
Mourinho-
chances against them than Southampton, and we were the only team to stop them scoring so far, right? So
Mourinho came out and said that he was waiting for Klopp to make a
yes.
change in the midfield so he could then attack. But I think Klopp as well.
yeah, he
like-
thought one of the three midfielders
yeah,
would be taken
but
off.
Liverpool hadn't kept a clean sheet in the last.
But I couldn't
7
believe you
matches
took
or
off your
something.
3 best attackers.
Well, he had a
Coutinho,
more important-
Firmino, and Salah all
He-
went off,
he had-
and you brought on 3
Yeah, well, he did have the Champions
Chamberlain,
League.
Solanke, and Sturridge, wasn't it?
Still the Champions League coming up, and we had the game in control. I think he felt that as long as the midfield were stopping what United were doing, which was very little, it didn't matter who the forwards were.
Well,
It's just waiting on
I
that
just
lucky
thought,
break.
the game was there for you. Like, look, I think a point is a good result for you. But the only thing is, though,
But is it a better result
Lukaku
for
had
them?
that chance in the first half. If he had scored that, people would have been going, "Oh, Marino's a masterclass performance." We haven't seen that now in a few years. Then, like we got the last time. Oh, we remember you beat Man City in 13-14 year. Ivanovic scored a goal from 25 yards.
Sure.
And it was kind of like they set it in, but they counter-attacked. And if Lukaku had scored that, we go, Lukaku, 1 chance, 1 goal. Oh, Liverpool again giving away
But
chances.
that
But
happens
that was
with everything.
they were the fine lines of what could have happened rather than actually what was
But this happens
Man United having nothing. And Pep Guardiola must be looking at that Man United team and going, wow.
Yeah.
Like Pep Guardiola, I know it's at home. They were in a 10 men, but they took you to the sword when they had the chance.
No, this is what I
And
was going to say.
They destroyed Chelsea as well, by the way, away from home.
Watching us against
last
City,
week.
even though we were competitive until the setting off, even though we were still a goal down when that happened, and watching us against United, with no Mane, I definitely think I know who's going to win the league. Moving on, Burnley and West Ham. A lovely assist from Joe Hart.
The great assist for Joe Hart. Andy Carroll going absolutely mad.
Yeah.
2 headers into both Burnley centre backs' heads in 2 minutes to get 2 yellow cards and get sent off.
I love Andy Carroll.
The Joe Hart assist was nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Me just completely missing the ball completely, and Antonio just flicking it past the keeper was nice. Chris Wood, the Leeds man, getting a few goals.
Well, we could do with him scoring at the moment.
Palace hosted Chelsea, the biggest upset of the weekend. Kebab had I guess was an own goal really.
No, it hit Aston Crowder, yeah.
It did.
Hit Dave in the arse.
And Zaha scored. Bakayoko got one back for Chelsea. But incredible. Not only did Crystal Palace score their first goals, but they beat Chelsea.
Yeah, but I wonder what odds they were to win that. But
Huge.
people are saying, oh, Danny Murphy, like he's really pissed me off as the pundit at that moment. He fucking said, like, what was he going? He said, oh, there's no way Crystal Palace are going to get relegated. It's like, hold on a minute.
He just loves Roy. I don't know why.
He must, because like it's Roy Hodgson, and he was the fulcrum of that midfield for the Europa League.
They've got a better team than a lot. Like I'd say,
but
they have a better team than Bournemouth, and they have a better team.
John, the way they are at the moment is, geez, you hate Bournemouth.
They're just bad. They've no goals in the team at all.
The way
John, do you really dislike Bournemouth?
They've lost so many games, and they haven't scored any goals, and they've conceded chip loads and all that. And I already changed manager. Hodgson really has to go, and I know they're not far off the teams ahead of them, but the run that they've been on, they will go on another run like that. They can't afford that. They're going to have to average. You know, they're on 3 points. How many games? And we're about 9 in, 8, 9 in.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to average only 2 points a game to stay up.
Look,
do you know what I mean?
Dan,
like
no one here is agreeing with that.
They're going to like if there's 30 games left.
Yes.
Like they need to average actually more like 1.5 points a game.
No one's agreeing. This isn't the big turnaround they've been waiting for.
No, but I know it's not. But I think they're still fact, and they'll need to win about 3 in a row.
More likely than not, John.
I think I would love for Palace to get relegated. I don't like them or
I really like Palace, but that's okay.
them or Hodgson.
Istanbul.
Exactly.
That's why.
But,
is that why you don't like Crystal Palace?
No, I just.
Fair enough. Okay.
I just don't like them. I never have. I don't know why.
Palace though. Go on.
Scumbags. They play glad all over whenever they score. They're enemies of football.
I'm not saying that's a good thing. They're enemies of. They're bullies of fun.
Yeah, they're bullies of fun.
Anyway,
I just want to say that I just don't think it's an awful start. I think they sacked their manager and then had the toughest round of fixtures that anyone's going to have. They played, I think, the entire top 6 now. They don't have to play them again for a while, and then they've got some matches they might actually win, and they have Zaha back, who was missing for a lot of it now. And he was great against Chelsea.
Zaha's
and
Hugo.
And I just think a lot of the teams.
We better talk about Saka's back heel clearance.
What the fuck was he doing?
Don't you dare!
He set up the Zaha goal. But he
was it Granit Xhaka who did that earlier in the season as well?
Yeah, but look,
Xhaka did it against Leicester.
Absolute world class defender.
Yeah.
He is fucking incredible.
He'll keep them up.
And can we say something about Chelsea as well? Still issues with that club. I don't know, like it's like they can't just go from beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 in Madrid and then losing to Palace.
Well, I would say you're being slightly dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic.
You said it, Dan. They don't have enough players. Morata's injured. Batman got taken off after like 56 minutes or something because he's so bad. And then and they just don't. But it's not obviously not easier. But you can play a certain way against Atletico away where you just set back.
Yeah.
But against Palace, you have to come and attack them. And if you have no attackers and you're playing Eden Hazard, who's been a winger his almost career, as a number 10 and then as a number 9.
He really wants to play as number 10.
He's playing a front 2 with him and Pedro. And Pedro seems to have lost a bit of pace. There was a moment he broke through and just absolutely couldn't get through. Pot shots from Fabregas. There's no goals in that team.
But I think there's actually bigger issues in that, though. I think there's issues with
Conte,
the owner, with the manager.
I
think that will rumble on. We all thought Conte could be sacked first.
Yeah. He didn't do them any favours during the international break where he talked about one more injury and we're finished. Publicly saying things like that, I suppose. All right. City and Stoke. I'm very sad that City actually conceded here because this performance was insane. So Juve scored after Walker had an own goal, but in non chronological order, Jesus with 2, Sterling, who's had a hell of a season,
8 and 11 from.
say that again.
8 goals and 11, I think.
Fair play, and he hasn't been starting every game.
Yeah, he's been playing very well.
They're all
David-
tappins though.
David Silva, Fernandinho, Sane, Bernardo Silva. His mum told him to get into the box more, and look what's happening. Sane and Bernardo Silva. This fucking team is
They're
insanity.
playing very well.
And they
They are
don't even
playing
have
very-
great midfield players.
They
Well,
are
they don't
playing
have a
very
great
well,
well.
but it does seem like Kevin De Bruyne does pretty much everything for them.
Well, I say Kevin De Bruyne will be player of the season, and I'm very happy I said that. I think he is unreal.
Do I agree with that? I don't remember what I said.
I think he's got to say Pogba.
I did.
But
Well, he's been.
I think though that's the way it is for City though. Pep Guardiola even said that it was his best performance since taking over as manager. Now they've gone and they beat Barcelona last year 3-1. They beat Man United 2-1 in one of his first games. Like they have had some good performances, not some bad performances as well. But
Not this year.
It doesn't look like this train is stopping. And I think
No.
Pep Guardiola's brilliant. At, like
10 wins in a row.
they did that last year as well.
Sure.
And then Celtic drew 3-3 with Celtic, and I kind of went a bit mad. But like what Pep does though so well, he gets the team up all the way from one end of the pitch to the other, and then he lets the creative and the flair players do their business. So he'll tactically get them up about 50, 60 yards of the pitch to make sure that they're structured, they're well drilled, and they can't be caught in the counter attack. And then he lets the likes of Aguero, Jesus, all these guys actually go and do their magic, and that's what they're doing. Like Silva and De Bruyne in midfield.
And the
Must be
wing
just a
backs.
joy to play with.
Yeah.
Like Walker, when he plays, seems to settle in pretty well. Delph is doing a steady job at left back, ironically.
I think Walker's been great. Absolutely great.
But like and Ederson actually looks like a pretty good keeper.
He can pass the ball.
He
Very
looks pretty
He
good.
saved an horrendous penalty yesterday against Napoli.
Fair.
But like it's not even they are seriously looking very good though. Now it's still very early days, but they're definitely the
I
team
think
to beat
it's
at the
still
moment.
early. I think
When's the
they're
Manchester
all
derby?
Yorkshire. They're all Yorkshire defence on Saturday. Like still look dodgy. Conceded 2 goals. Some like one was an own goal and one was a deflection, but still,
Yeah.
Free kick though.
that was by Stoke. And then Kevin De Bruyne
Pjanic.
turned on. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if Kevin De Bruyne gets injured exactly.
He's one of the
who
best free
does
kick
stuff for
takers
them.
in Europe.
Yeah, he's very good.
So we'll see what happens there. But no,
Stick-
they look. That was some performance. It really was.
It really was, yeah.
And then like they were just great to be honest. But I just
Sticking
think
with you,
it's-
John, our Bournemouth correspondent, they travelled to Spurs, who love playing in the Millennium Stadium,
Yeah.
even though that's not
Bournemouth,
where they play. They play
Bournemouth are
Wembley.
so bad.
What a header.
Even Spurs,
My God.
even Spurs kind of
Kimmich.
can win at home. Like I could have done with them still needing that first home in the Premier League before this weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
But, it was a great goal by Ericsson. Maybe a bit of luck to it because
Yes.
the ball sort of bounced in front of him. But yeah, absolutely.
But Spurs
They're not
still
playing well
not
at
looking
home.
great at home at all.
No. I thought that was the issue with them this season for me. I think
Which is
away
very
from
sad.
home they're flying.
We'll talk about it more, but like the idea that, yeah, well, obviously away from home they're flying, but the idea that they could go to Madrid and give such a good account of themselves. Pot showed incredible, I guess, bottle picking the team he picked. We'll talk about it more in
Parking the
depth.
bus.
But well, yeah, to an extent. But I don't know. This home thing will be the death of them, and that's the very.
They almost
last
had
thing.
a record. They said on Match Today there that they would have been the first team in Premier League history to win their first 4 away matches
And not
win their
the
first
first
4
4
home
home.
matches.
Swansea 2, Huddersfield 0. Abraham with both goals. Abraham, who Ian Wright said is a better striker than Bakayoko, by the way.
No, Bashawi.
Bashawi. Of
He
course,
probably is
because
a better
Bakayoko is
striker.
a
Well, that's always
midfield
the
player.
thing.
Well-
Whenever Chelsea let a striker go and their current striker isn't scoring, it's always
Well, the thing I'd say about Abraham, like he was very, very good with Bristol City last year, and I know you can say what you like his championship, but you could see he's a player, and he is playing very well. And Huddersfield delighted to see them getting back down to earth, being a shit team.
Deary
They
me.
will be going
deary,
down.
deary me. Another upset. Watford Arsenal. Forgot about this. Tom Cleverley, his first goal in 4 years,
Granit
as well
Xhaka
as
picking his nose.
Did you see Xhaka for that?
picking his nose.
Yeah,
When
he's
the ball was bubbling around the
Oh,
box,
no.
Xhaka let Cleverly run off, and he's standing there literally picking his nose, and Cleverly runs in and
See,
scores.
did you have a finger up his nose?
Yeah, his fingers.
Oh, this is hilarious. I thought you were just using.
No, he had. So like
Okay.
it's, I don't know, and it's Watford's first home win of the season as
Troy-
well.
Troy
Actually.
D-
Mertesacker got one back, and then Troy Deeney being the hero of the day.
You have gone mad with how you're saying goal scorers today.
How?
Because you're saying them backwards.
What? Mertesacker was
He scored
He
first.
scored the first
Arsenal
goal.
were in
And you
Sorry.
said Tom Cleverley.
Arsenal were in
I
complete
did, didn't I?
control for 60 minutes of that game without playing well.
Did you
Watford
see
showed
Deeney
nothing.
giving a shirt to the kid and the dad?
Yeah.
They went bloody mental. Troy Deeney's a weird looking guy.
He's
He's going to be a great pundit. You see him? He was more angry at Arsenal than Arsenal Fan TV was. I was a bit disappointed with Arsenal Fan TV. They're all so depressed and sad now. But Troy Deeney came out and he goes, they're all just cowards. You know what I mean? Like he called himself the equalizer. He's giving himself like Pro Evo nicknames. Like the fans are calling him the equalizer.
That's quite awesome.
But yeah, he's not bad. But like even players are making fun of Arsenal now. Like
They deserved it.
they were
like they went all of September without conceding a goal, winning every.
well, they
match.
played a few shit teams, but like
Well, Watford aren't great shakes, are they?
they're fourth in the
fourth in the
league
league.
now. But like,
You manga.
they're not a great team, but
No.
it's, what
You
Silva's doing
understand my
there is-
meaning.
Silva's doing a really good job there.
Yeah, you like
and-
him.
Well, like he won't be there next season. Well, that's because Watford sack their manager every year anyway. But like, he'll be at a top team. Like he will actually be at a top team. The manager.
Brighton and Everton. Rooney back. Rooney scores.
Brighton unlucky last minute.
Everton will be sacking their manager next.
Do you think Koeman could go? Do you think he will go? Like
He was told, wasn't he, outright, that like, mate, you've got 4 games or something.
You were very bad at this. They are not doing well. They have the worst record of any English team in the history of the Europa League this season.
Jesus
Great
Christ.
stadium in Europe.
And who's going to replace him?
Shakespeare.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti will not go there.
No, I know he won't.
Sean Dyche.
It's amazing that when Southampton score goals, it's always in a draw. Southampton 2, Newcastle 2.
They draw a lot, don't they?
They're very unlucky, Newcastle, not to it.
But when Southampton scored 2 goals, they didn't even
See
win.
about the Newcastle
Yep.
training ground fight.
Who was it this time?
Lascelles versus Diami. John Joe Shelby broke a finger breaking them up, apparently.
That's how hard
They've
Shelby.
had a few fights. Remember Dyer and Boyer were having a scrap
Yeah.
in 2005 on the pitch.
Apparently
I saw a
people-
paraphrased quote from what Shearer said to them after that. Sorry, go on.
Apparently Lascelles was like made captain because he gave Rafa like this like PowerPoint presentation on why his teammates weren't working hard enough and so that sort of thing.
Fucking
So-
fair play. That's what you need.
Yeah, so
Or you could call him a licker. Or
Drew
something. Dick.
Gulak.
well, that too, but he's captain now. And
PowerPoint.
Diami was a player that I remember watching the playoff final with Hull a few
Yeah.
years ago and looking at Diami going, this lad's going to be absolutely class. And he went back to the championship at Newcastle and he just hasn't seemed to done a whole lot.
No, he
since.
doesn't really give a
So
shit,
I think
to
he's
be
a bit
honest.
lazy.
He's good if he wants to be.
Well, speaking of sackings, Leicester is the last game we'll talk about here. It was farewell to Shakespeare. I was trying to think of Shakespeare quote there and I couldn't. Mahrez got the goal for Leicester.
Lesnar.
He
Brock
also-
Lesnar
He also
scored.
scored the equal. The beast incarnate, Craig
Brock Lesnar
Spacey.
was very angry last night when he couldn't talk to the ref at halftime. And Chadley scored for West Brom. Was this enough to get Shakespeare sacked, boys?
Well, they're only like 2 points above Crystal Palace, who were
The way
doomed.
the way it is
Sorry.
that Ranieri got sacked for, they were in a higher position and he won the league.
You've
8
never gone
months
over this Ranieri
previous.
thing, have you?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. 6 months later, he gets a job. He's given a full-time contract because he won the first 4 games. I think he won one of the last 7 he had, right?
Yeah.
Of that season.
Weep.
He was given a 2-year contract over the summer. They spent a bit more money. I know they lost Drinkwater, but it's not like he hasn't had whatever he wanted.
Yeah, Drinkwater's at Chelsea.
I
And
always forget. It's incredible. This was said to me during the weekend. I was like, but it happened.
And
It's incredible.
then what happens then? He gets sacked because they're in a lower position they were, and he didn't win the league. So
Sure.
judging by Leicester's
Standards.
standards and judging what Ranieri got sacked for, he absolutely 100% should be sacked. 100%. Now,
Yeah.
do I agree with it? I don't agree with either of the sackings, but I think Shakespeare is a complete snake, and I'm delighted he did.
Oh, why do you think he's a snake?
He played a massive part in Ranieri leaving and the players turning on him.
Where are you reading? Is Alec Jones telling you this?
No, that's quite a common thing that
It's well known, is
yep,
what you're saying?
Yep. That he was apparently behind a lot of it. He went in and took the job, and obviously the players started playing for him then. Only for a few months, of course. So the players, again, really showing their true skin. I know Mahrez scored, but,
Shylock.
you know, it's... God, what did I say 6 months ago?
What
I'm
did
right.
you say?
I was right.
About what?
Players don't give a shit. Players got him sacked. Players got this guy sacked. Do you think West Brom should have won that game comfortably?
All right. Let's talk about Champions League from last night. We touched on bits of this. Borussia Dortmund, who are top of the Bundesliga, but they're having a very weird Champions League drawing away to Apoel, 1-1. They are missing a lot of people.
Well, have a very good.
Dortmund lost their first home match in 2 seasons in the Bundesliga there.
That's right. They're still on top though, but they haven't played.
They've a very good record at home, Apoel, for what they are.
For what they are,
I don't think they lose many games. They might draw a few, but I think we touched on it before. Dortmund just don't have the quality anymore.
Well, where's Royce? Anyone know?
He's out. I'm sure he's probably on an injury table somewhere. Or something, you know?
He does get injured quite a lot. Feyenoord won. Shakhtar Donetsk win the away win 2-1.
That's surprising. Shakhtar are probably a better team, but they don't travel very well.
Sure. Another surprise was Spartak Moscow destroying Sevilla.
Shows
5-1.
well that Seville really are. I'd say it's the worst team I've seen in over a decade.
Doing wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
It's the worst team I've seen over a decade for Seville.
You like Quincy, don't you, John?
I'm a big fan of him.
Madrid and Spurs. So we talked about the formation earlier. So Vertonghen played left wing back. He had Sissoko and Winks as holding DMs. He played Llorente up front with Kane and Eriksson as number 10.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think he caught. I mean, he caught out Zidane. I think he might have with the tactics, but
You think he did? He definitely did.
2-0 Chelsea. Hazard. He's a great striker.
It wasn't Morata set him up. He was a better striker.
Yeah. Is Morata playing?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
It'd be nice if I didn't have my back to the TV the whole time. Anyway, go ahead, John. Sorry.
It was a good performance by Spurs. A great away performance. They absolutely parked the bus and played on the counter, which worked really well. Great result for Pochettino because I didn't know how they do in this sort of match. But now they're top of the group, 7 points.
Yeah.
And Dortmund drawing as well. So they're basically...
Well, Dortmund
done
have to
now.
play Madrid twice now.
No, they don't.
Oh no, they have to play. No, sorry, they have to play.
They have to play...
Everybody's played each other
Sorry,
once.
everyone's played. Excuse me. I was thinking before.
This isn't the Irish League, Dan.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'll just shut up now. Go on. Yeah, good. Well done, Spurs. Good result. Good result.
Harry Kane-
Pochettino, by the way.
Yeah.
Is he the best manager in the Premier League? I don't know. Like he's as good as any manager I've seen in a long
He
time.
has to win something
For
to be
what
called
he's
the best
doing.
manager
He
ever.
has
that
to start.
club.
He has to start winning at home comfortably. But doing
Well,
this is why
he's
you
not
have
on
to-
his own.
It has to win a trophy.
Taking risks like that is phenomenal, and it's paying off. And I think
Well,
it
I
did pay
couldn't
off.
believe when they started Llorente.
Well, I
of all
think
people, like, it worked.
they were a bit lucky because Lloris made some absolutely
wasn't an own
wonderful
goal.
saves. It wasn't on goal. Harry Kane
Benzema
could have
missed
won
a
it.
few.
Then.
Was he?
Benzema missing so many goals.
Yeah, but was he right to start? I can never pronounce his name. Aurier.
I don't rate him at all. I think he's good going forward, but
But
I
was
think
he right
he's
to
a
start him?
complete liability
He
at the
gave away
back.
the penalty, so
He
He's
was
a
good in the
complete
second
liability at the back. Like I think if you're going to play him, you can only play him as a wing back or as a right winger or something because he's got that power. Like remember, Man City took apart PSG. Was it last year or 2 years ago in the Champions League?
yeah.
He was, I mean, all over the place. He was just everywhere. Like he was terrible. So
or
nothing's
be
changed in that way. I think
Leipzig beat Porto at home 3-2 is a really good game from what
the
I
goal
saw.
machine scored again. He's banging them in.
Who? Werner?
Abubakar.
Abubakar?
Wasn't as
Oh,
nice.
Bubakar! Jesus, yeah.
He's banging them in. No, literally, he's got like 3 or 4 goals in the Champions League.
I remember
Was it
seeing
you,
the highlight show.
Was it you who's looking up a Bubakar jersey when we were in Lisbon?
Yeah.
We were all just shocked
Dan
at
loves
expensive.
Abubakar.
He's the
He
goal
loves
machine.
Abubakar and Akinfenwa. Loves them, don't you, Dan?
I do, yeah.
You love big, muscular strikers.
Yes.
Monaco and Besiktas. Monaco losing at home, 2-1, even though they started their absolute strongest team.
You'd swear they sold £250 million worth of players.
Yes, they still do.
There was a gas moment, I think. What was
fucking
what was the
Besiktas.
score? 2-1, was it?
It was 2-1, man.
For the winner, where Ryan Babel had a shot and it whacked off the post and just came back to him, and he just controlled it and passed it across for. No, not even sure he scored it. Pass. It just looked so funny in the highlights.
Well, nice goal by Kolarov.
Like he did on the assist on purpose, just whacking the ball off the post and controlling it again.
Kolarov just ran past like 3 Chelsea players there, but
Like-
kicking
like
the
they
ball.
were-
You
ahead of
still get it.
Like they were the Irish defence that he.
Well,
Yeah.
that one was a hammer of a
Kolarov
shot.
has scored quite a few goals. It's so weird, isn't
Look
it?
at
that
this.
the,
Look,
the
he just
jaded
gets it,
Premier
he
League
just- look,
fullbacks who
runs.
go to Roma.
Look. Oh, I might have taken a
It did
nick.
take a
off the
nick. It did take a nick. Let's see what else.
Record-breaking Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool with the biggest away win in Europe for any English side. 7-0 against
Away
Maribor.
from home.
Away from home. Yes.
Do you
Did I not say
think
that? It's exactly
teams
what
like
Liverpool needed.
Maribor shouldn't be in the Champions League? Like
Oh,
I'd
here
love
we
to
go.
see. Obviously,
Here we go again. Liverpool have a good
No,
performance.
no,
so
no,
it has
no,
to be
no,
the.
no,
no,
it has
hold
to
on,
be
hold
the
on.
team.
Hold on. Well, yeah.
Oh, no,
well,
I know.
Hold on. Maribor are one of the worst teams. Tie.
But what about Apoel or
Well,
all these other
Apoel's-
teams getting
Oh,
points?
this is bullshit.
No, like it's how small. Like you let one team from each country in basically, and then they have to go through qualification. Which
They got
these
there, Dan.
guys
They had
did.
to work to get there.
Do you think the Champions League's too big?
How does it affect?
it's
How does it
fine.
affect us at the end of the day? They had to play more qualification games than we did or United.
No,
did,
the way
or
I
United
just no,
did.
the way I
They've
just
also taken points off Moscow, which Seville didn't do, and taken a point off.
Apoel drew with Dortmund.
Exactly.
yeah, I thought Apoel have
It's
a
small
decent
team.
home record. I'm just saying,
And Maribor did as well.
Maribor had
there's
eight-
always one or two teams like I don't know.
Hold
they're
on.
just
This is just another one of those things where it's like if Liverpool shellac somebody,
no,
it
it's
was
nothing to do with
Liverpool's
that. I couldn't care if you beat
Maribor,
someone 7-0 or not.
Maribor legit went 8 games undefeated in Europe. So it's not like everyone's going there and spanking them.
8 games were like 6 of them qualifiers. Like,
Well, I wouldn't say 6 because
yeah, like they're
they
not.
didn't have 6 qualifiers. To be fair,
Well, I don't know. There's teams there. I don't know.
can we?
They're just like, I like having an underdog story. I like seeing it, but when the standard is that big, a gap.
Look, there's teams.
There's like, I don't know.
Okay,
I think it just
okay.
devalues the competition.
What about when Liverpool bet Besiktas 8-0 a few years ago, and Besiktas
Well,
are like
Besiktas
in
were-
the Champions League every
Yeah,
single year?
that's-
Or,
no,
I'm
yeah,
saying
no.
that,
You
oh,
just
they shouldn't be in
shellacked
the
them. You
Champions League.
shellacked them that.
And they beat us that season.
Yeah, so it's just like, look,
No,
Maribor-
I didn't mention that one. Those results can't happen. But I'm just saying, I think Maribor are so far off. There's teams
They still made it.
because there's always going to be teams who will like.
Okay,
there's
look, I just can't see.
Jared Piqué sent
deliberate
off
red, deliberate handball
Deliberate handball.
for knocking
But
it in.
I don't know. I think these small sort of like
I'm not
even the
having a Liverpool. I
Irish
don't care
teams.
who
trying-
wins,
I
but-
don't care if it is about the Liverpool. So I just think that like to get Irish teams anywhere close to the Champions League, Europa League.
There's a
like,
great
That's-
point.
well, no, that's
like,
what I was saying.
do you want the
I'd
European
love to-
Super League? Do you want to just see like how boring is it when we get to the knockout
I'm-
stages and it's like, oh, Chelsea got so and so.
PSG.
How many
I'm-
times have we seen like?
I'm well
these
aware
same matches
that's the way
over
it
and over
works.
again?
I know. I was actually going to say I'd love to see like a League of Ireland, like a Dundalk or a Cork or Rovers or something, go and get there. But like,
They can't.
Yeah,
beat-
but, like,
they can't
I
beat
just-
these Maribor Apoel teams.
Yeah, exactly. And
I just think that I don't know.
look, Dan, in order for Irish teams to have a chance, teams like Maribor are going to get into the Champions League. And of all the years when there's 5 fucking English teams in it to say, oh, maybe this team shouldn't be in, people have got there by merit.
But like, you do realize the Champions League used to be literally the champions and runners up,
Yeah, but
the
like,
big ones,
it's
and it's devalue. It does devalue the competition a bit. Like the
no,
group.
because you get
more
these
teams in
upset
it.
things.
Yeah, it's like the World Cup, and it was like the last
don't think
Euros.
it
There's
has.
worse teams
Oh,
in it.
no way. Like,
was-
The
It's true.
last Euros I sort of agree with, but the Champions League is at its best now because you get all these sort of things like the last one previously when there's knockout games and there's group stages and you get to see a lot of matches. You get to see all the talent. It's not just like the how the Euros used to be, where everyone just tightens up against each other because they know they just have to beat the small team to go through. Like
yeah, that's a
I-
good point. Listen,
I wouldn't allow any more. I
Look,
don't
it's-
want
it's-
this
it's-
European
it's-
Super League and seeing Barcelona.
But
not
is the
Chelsea
European
every
Super
year.
League a thing away from the Champions League or
yeah,
from the Premier
supposedly
League?
no,
It's
supposedly
the
it's
Champions League.
yeah. Now listen, just to briefly touch on Liverpool, all 3 starting forwards got 2 assists and let me do that again. Salah got an assist and 2 goals. Firmino got assist and 2 goals. Coutinho got a goal and 2 assists.
Nice to see
Fantastic.
Chamberlain score.
It was nice to see Chamberlain score. It's exactly what Liverpool needed, considering the amount of chances they've had in the games that they haven't won recently, but they haven't put away barely anything.
The main thing I took about Coutinho's goal was unreal. Like
Absolutely,
how do you do that?
it was fucking
Like,
insane.
They hit a bouncing ball and just.
I think
curl it in
no,
the net.
He's
really
really playing well, actually, isn't he?
He
the
scores
best.
every
He's our
time.
best player. He scores
He's
every game.
probably. I know he played well last season, but he seems to be kind of
More
doing-
consistent scoring
he's doing,
goals
but
for
he's
sure.
doing the kind of when you really need him, he's kind of just delivering.
Talisman
Doing it-
stats.
well, sort of, yeah. Like he's
Um,
kind of there with literally the key moments.
Salah's pace for the first assist to Firmino was a shocking amount of pace. He's so great. I love Mohamed Salah more than most men. How many goals is he on? Like 11?
8.
11
I think
in all
it's-
competitions?
I think it's 8.
Right, okay. And then we had City and Napoli. Napoli scored first, didn't they?
No, they were 2-0 down
2-0
now.
down.
Oh, they did. Sorry, guys. Apologies about that. Sterling and Jesus scored really early on, was it?
They could have scored
There we
more,
are.
and then Napoli came into it and played pretty well. They also, your friend Mertens missed a penalty.
I know he did. I was very upset.
But
It
Napoli
was
played well, but
tremendously
I
bad
think
penalty.
City were just too good for them, really.
Napoli are like ahead of Juventus by 5 points in the Italian
Oh,
league.
Juventus are really struggling. They're really struggling this year, but Bonucci as well.
They
They're
lost to
a lot
Lazio
older.
their first defeat
Yeah.
at home in 2 years.
Another thing.
Higuain is being
Another thing
off
as well,
and
though,
on
like
as
I've
well.
always
There he
been
is.
saying, the English team is good. It does sort of seem now that there is starting to be a bit of a curve back.
Well, PSG are going up. Seems Munich are going down.
Munich are kind of going down.
Juve
The
are gonna go
Spanish
down.
teams are going down.
Well,
I don't think Madrid and Barca are as good as they were. I don't think Madrid is as good as they were
Well, maybe
Madrid have
Atletico.
won 3 of the last
Speaking
4
of
Champions
Atletico, you at the start of the
Atletico.
show you were dying to say something about the result we already have from tonight.
Just they're on a
Who do
bad
they
run
play?
at the minute.
Who they
Karabakh.
play? Okay.
Karabakh.
Thank you very much.
We know so much about it. Another one of those small teams that shouldn't be in the Champions League, taking points away from big teams, but shouldn't be there.
Sure. Okay. Do you want to do some quiz?
Let's
Really
do
don't.
some quiz.
Do you
Come
want
on.
to do some
Is it
quiz?
the same shit again?
Well, yeah. The only reason it's the same quote unquote shit again is because you're demanding to play this quiz.
Well, like, we can do a different quiz, but
Well, it's why
I'm
I'm
confident I'll win.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I need to get things that don't sound the same.
Just give us A and F.
No, they can work together at times.
Or
Here we go.
C and F or something.
F and G sharp.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Now, actually, here you go, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dan, will you stay in your high register there, please? That's great. That's great. John,
Karabakh.
can you stay in your low register there? Okay, guys, now don't do that ever again. That's great. Actually, do you know what, lads? I need your help. I need to clear my throat here for a sec. I wrote a song about a football player whose birthday is in a couple of months, so I thought it'd be fair to bring him up on the show.
Karabakh.
That was fortuitous timing. We recorded the song, and the program Audacity that we used to record the podcast refused to actually record it.
Song was too good.
Yeah, so
Was it the greatest song ever written?
I don't know if
or
we should
was
let
it
them
just a
hear
tribute?
See, this is what this feels like. This will be a tribute. I don't think I can pull it off again because the lyric, but his stats box is really hard
Yeah,
to
you
say.
struggled.
Stats box full, but his stats box was full back.
I
is
think
very
you
hard.
owe it to the listener.
Okay,
Who's
you
still
ready?
at this point.
I need you to clap though. Keep the claps consistent. You gave up halfway through. Maybe that's why it stopped.
Yeah, it's my fault.
All right, here we go. All right, ready? Oh, Ivan Cordoba is a very nice man. A very nice man is Ivan. He played as a centre back, but his stats box said he was a full back. Oh, for evolution. Oh, Ivan Cordoba is a very nice man. A very nice man is Ivan. He's faster than a cheetah and very handsome, and he comes from Colombia.
That was fantastic.
I definitely did it better the first time.
Yeah, I prefer the
It's
first
that
one.
fucking lyric.
Will we go for a third one?
Here,
He
John, you
was
can
a
sing it
centre
now.
back, but his stats box says full back in 2008 Pro Evolution.
I think it was the second verse he seemed to struggle. There was a lot going on there about his pace. And he said he was a centre back, but a wing back.
His stats box looked.
But in the first song, he
forward.
said it was centre forward.
Did
So do you remember the lyrics?
I
No,
didn't say Fernando
because that would have
He
called
did
me
in
out
the
on
first.
that. That would have called me out.
didn't.
That would have called me out. That. Right, come on, let's get to the quiz here. We're going to start at P. This is top scorers. If the gentleman guesses who is the top scorer from that specific country, they get a full mark. If they get the second or third guy, they get a half point. So here we go. And guys, be at the ready. And John, be right at the ready this time because, you start good, you might win this round. Okay, here we go. Cordoba was a centre back, but his stats box looked like he played
Full back.
full back. That's 1 point to Dan.
Knew should have been listening.
Okay, Cordoba's handsome, but what animal was he almost as fast as?
Cheetah.
Thank you, Dan.
We're not listening to the song.
I'm distracted by the highlights.
The stats box in the Ivan Cordova song was from what year in Pro? Thank you, Dan.
8.
Oh, I need clarification on
Pro
that.
2008.
Perfect, sorry. Because Dan, they were numbered originally. And I
Oh,
would have
yeah,
been
oh,
like,
yeah,
Dan,
okay.
there's no Pro
What
8,
year?
mate."
Yeah.
All right. Portugal's top Premier League scorer. Dan,
Ronaldo.
okay. I'll pass it to John for posterity. Number 2 or 3, John?
Nanny?
Nani is number 3, so we still have number 2 out there.
Helder Postiga.
No. I forgot he existed. It's a triple barrel. Dun. Phonetically would sound like that. Luis Baramote.
Oh, Beaumorte. Yeah.
Okay, fingers on the buzzers. Republic of Ireland. Dan,
Robbie Keane.
correct. Number 2,
Damien
John.
Duff.
That's number 3, John. You're love getting number 3. Is number 2 still available? Dan.
Niall Quinn.
Niall Quinn, of course, Niall Quinn. Romania. Oh God, this guy.
Mewtwo?
Mutu with number 2. Well done, John. Number 1 and number 4 is still
Dan Petrescu.
Dan Petrescu with number 1.
How
Okay.
many goals did Michu have, actually? Like 7?
6.
Yeah, he had a really good start in 03-04 season and then went on the coke.
And he loves the... he loved it.
Loved it.
Russia with love. Dan.
Arshavin.
Arshavin is number 2. Dan.
Kanchelskis.
is number 1 with 42 goals. And a man who I used to really enjoy watching. Number 3.
Shirkov.
Incorrect. Although, I do love him.
I can't believe it wasn't Shirkov.
I know. I think he scored 3 goals. Oh. Go on. Anybody? Okay, he played for Spurs.
Pavlyuchenko.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd forget about him, wouldn't you? Scotland. Must be saying Scottish accent. Yes. Who is it? Is it John? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
No idea, no. Completely lost my mind. I was going to say Darren Fletcher because I have no idea.
Okay. Anybody want to take a guess? It must be saying Scottish accent.
Naismith.
Stephen Fletcher.
That would sounded like the commentator from Original Pro.
I don't know.
Stephen Fletcher's number 3.
Oh God, Scotland.
Number 1. What do you do with a basketball? Yeah.
Duncan first.
Oh, good shout. He was a scumbag, that fella.
Number 1 for John. What number did Etu wear at Chelsea?
It was 9.
Over to John.
No, it wasn't.
My lord. 2.
It was number 2.
Oh, I know.
Dan.
29.
29. I thought you'd get that pretty quick.
Oh, sure, he's one of those.
I don't have any more off the top of my head. Okay, let's see here.
Boney. No, it's Boney. Where's number 2?
Serbia. John.
Ivanovic
with 2. Number 1 and number 3 are still out there. Dan.
Kazman.
Not there.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic.
Yeah.
No. So it's something similar.
Is he a Yugoslav former, or is he Serb?
Can't tell you, pal. Milosevic.
Savo Milosevic. They play for Villa.
Okay, and Tadic
Oh yeah.
was there. Okay, let's see here. Slovakia. Yes, Dan.
Shkirtle.
Was number 2. Anybody else? We've got number 1 available.
Sizzler Nemeth.
Nemeth is number 1. Well done, Dan. Now, okay, Dan, that puts you firmly.
Karabag.
That puts you firmly in the lead there, Dan. Let's see here. How many children does Zidane have playing football?
2.
Incorrect.
3, isn't it?
Incorrect.
1.
Incorrect.
4.
John is correct. How many of the 4 are currently at Real Madrid?
1.
Incorrect.
2.
Incorrect.
4.
Incorrect.
3. 5.
Half a point for everybody. And true or false, at one stage all 4 were at Real Madrid.
True.
That's right, John. I've given you a full point for that, and I don't even know why. South Africa. Yep.
Quinton Fortune.
Not even on the list, pal.
Joe.
Joe.
As in Brazilian Joe.
Who am I thinking of? Oh, no. Jones, as I was trying to say.
Just Joe.
I'd say it could be Phil Masinga.
Not there. What is the name of the stomach tablet you take? It comes in red packaging. It's white.
Ready?
And put a B in front of us. And
Benny McCarthy.
Yes.
Benny.
Clues are going over pretty strong tonight. You could have also had Sean Bartlett and, of course, Everton classic, Stephen Pienaar. South Korea. Yes.
Park Ji-sung.
Park Ji-sung is number 1. Smackdown. No. Number 2. He's currently playing and scoring all the goals.
Okazaki.
Nope. Son.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Last one. We'll leave it here. Because it's fairly damn obvious. Spain. Dan.
Torres.
Is number 1. Number 2 and 3 still available. Dan.
Fabregas.
Is number 3. Number 2.
David Silva.
Incorrect. I have a feeling this guy isn't even from Spain. I have a feeling this guy isn't even from Spain.
Okay, I don't think he's from Spain.
I've got a
But
feeling
I
this guy
think-
isn't even from Spain.
Diego Costa.
Yeah, well done. Okay, we'll leave it there. So that's a half point. I'll tally this up, and Dan's winning. Okay, so John, your hero of the week.
Caro bag.
Okay, Dan, your hero of the week.
Actually, I wanted to give it to
Yeah.
like I gave out abuse for TV planning, but match of the day put the United Liverpool match on last, which I thought was because it is the biggest fixture of the day, but they did put it last.
It was also the
dreadful.
only game to feature no goals, so
That is true,
It was right.
to be fair.
and also a bit of a failure for TV3 for putting the least entertaining match on last night.
TV3 who
enjoyed it.
put what Liverpool's match?
It was 7 goals, was to be fair.
Yeah, it was entertaining in many ways.
Yeah, but it was over at half time, where the Napoli City match.
In
would have
terms
been
of
great.
competitive edge, it probably wasn't the best choice.
And Spurs.
But in terms of goals, they may have been compensated. So I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Dan, your hero of the week.
My hero,
James
there's two.
McLean.
Leeds United are donating a week's wage or something, and there's players' wages going to help a kid with cancer at the moment. So I think it's pretty cool.
Lovely.
And even the whole staff are doing it. Like everyone in the whole club is donating. Even
Phenomenal.
um,
Did you know that 4 years ago, Brighton and Hove Albion, who are now Premier League side,
Yes.
our mate, in order to get him a Brighton Hove Albion jersey, we had to ring the groundskeeper in Brighton Hove Albion, and he found a long sleeve one hiding behind a locker that was clean enough to give to us. They've come a long way, is
There
all
you
I'm
go.
saying. Just thought that was an interesting story. Thanks.
And Kaká's last game was last week as well.
It was, and two young
And
boys ran onto the pitch,
so,
didn't they?
well, yeah, like what a player Kaká was. Let's just like, and if he didn't have all those
He
injuries,
had a good year out of it.
oh, he was some player.
I think he was great for about 4 years.
but like
Give it
his
2.5.
injuries just killed him. Like really, like you know,
Agreed.
like
Agreed.
he was as good as anyone.
He was the best number 10 in the world for a while.
He's the last person to win a Ballon d'Or.
He was the best
for
player in
Messi
the
and
world.
Ronaldo.
Him and Ronaldinho were the two best.
He was the last person to win the Ballon d'Or before Messi and Ronaldo.
2007, yeah.
Wow, you're right. My hero of the week is Cristiano Ronaldo for singing the Champions League theme as if it was a national
He
anthem.
does it every time. I love
It's
him.
fucking amazing.
Did he?
Only him.
Probably is his anthem. I think
It's
he
kind of
owns it.
funny.
He scored more goals than appearances in the Champions League for Madrid. Incredible.
Yeah, he's 95.
99 to 95 or something? Or 95 to 91?
I'm amazed that
Something
he hasn't
ridiculous,
killed Benzema. Benzema. I call him Benzema.
He likes playing with him though. I
He
think.
does, but like every time Benzema misses a sitter,
Yeah.
he's just so
Get
angry.
Harry Kane there. No? Okay. Your spoofer of the week, Dan.
I'm not going to name any names, but of what actually happened. But the spoofer of the week is Captain Morgan for Leicester. Did anyone hear this story?
No?
I'm not going to name the person
Absolute person.
because essentially he has impregnated someone from Knockline,
Oh, yeah. I did hear about
and his wife has now dumped him and kicked him out of his mansion and everything.
Twink.
Yeah.
Morgan's knocked up Twink.
So yeah. So obviously this girl must be living in Leicester or something, or I don't know.
How old is she?
She's a little bit younger than us, I think.
And
She lived on Sully's Road for a while.
So Wes Morgan has Can we really talk about this?
I don't think so.
I
Why
really
not?
don't think so.
But no one listens to.
Why not?
Can we beep that now?
I didn't name any names except for Wes Morgan.
But it's still pretty saucy. Like, this is information only you know because of where you're geographically located.
So
I guess we don't put it.
No one listens to this anyway.
Okay.
I think that's pretty mad.
Okay, it definitely is. John, your spoofer of the week?
The Liverpool owners didn't come for the unveiling of the Kenny Dalglish stand, which I thought.
Why weren't they there?
Other stuff to do.
Ferguson came.
Ferguson came, fair play to him.
Did he?
Yeah.
What was he doing there?
Louis Van Gaal was
He was
there.
like, because they're both Scotch.
Did you see that Louis Van Gaal,
They're mates.
the owner of Mr. Wings, the restaurant which Louis Van Gaal favoured, sent his Bentley to collect Louis Van Gaal and Mrs. Van Gaal from the airport?
No, I did not.
And also the Maribor staff not letting Firmino into the ground because he didn't have his badge, so he had to go back to the bus and find his badge.
You had to like scully around the seats. That's fucking brilliant. I didn't hear about that. That's superb.
Yeah, I enjoyed all that.
I watch so much football, but I'm having a hard time doing goal. Dan, go ahead.
I'm giving it to Sané because the De Bruyne assist. That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
He like literally about 3 players through ball. It was amazing.
Sané
Really,
scored
really great goal.
some great. Oh, sorry, you mean the De Bruyne assist that literally went the half-time sort of
Yeah, but it was
Oh,
played along the
Jesus
ground
Christ.
at pace. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
one touch. Great.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was, he took it well, but it was just really great pass, and De Bruyne's playing really well.
That was great. I'll go with Phil Coutinho's from last night. Go on, John.
That was a nice goal. I was probably going to take. I'll take David Luiz's tonight.
All right, super. Fantasy. Yeah, I'm having a mare, lads. That week that I forgot Harry Kane existed really did me in. In 19th, we have Reg. 18th, James. 17th, Stephen. 16th, Shane. 15th, Dave Nolte. 14th, Tommy. Congratulations on your wedding. 13th, Noel Keeley. 12, Rowan O'Reilly. 11, myself. Ouch. Stephen Vincent in 10th. Danny Kilmartin in 9th. David Gogan in 8th.
He's been there a while.
Dan O'Carroll up to 7, your highest position so far this year, Dan. Well done.
Going the right way.
Regis Kerr 6th. Tom Eastaway
Yeah, he's been there.
in 5th. John Carroll in 4th. Rob Normal, congratulations on your wedding to your brother in 3rd. 2nd, Ryan O'Doherty. And 1st, Adam Joyce. Now, let me tell you something. I got Adam drunk on Saturday. I had him here the whole day. And I got all his secrets out of him regarding fantasy football. I know exactly what he's doing. And I know exactly how to stop him. That's all I'm saying for
You
now.
can tell us off her.
Oh, absolutely.
Dan should have done with the West Morgan story.
Because we definitely stayed.
We'll definitely get the lawsuit of Adam Joyce about his fancy football details. But the Wes Morgan thing is absolutely fine about.
Because the Wes Morgan thing was definitely twink. Thanks for listening to the show, everybody. You can get us at Facebook/ITK Soccer Show, at ITK Soccer Show on Twitter, and search ITK Soccer Show on YouTube, where you'll find Dan's channel, and that's where you can have all the fun you want in the world listening to the archives over the last 3 years. We'll be back around the same time next week with fallout from tonight's Champions League and the weekend's Premier League fixtures. All the news as well. Until then, thanks for listening to the show. Let everybody who likes football podcasts know about it. We do it for free once a week, bar international weeks, and we really do appreciate people spreading the word. Until next week, enjoy the football. Bye!